Force will be with you, always.
The Force always. My name is David Zammit, aka Diz. Okay, it's Sunday morning here in Australia. I've just woken up to the news. Actually, the very first item as my TV went on was a Star Wars story I'd missed. And then I eventually found out that Kenny Baker, who played R2-D2, has passed away. He was suffering a long illness. He also played in such films as Flash Gordon, even The Elephant Man. But Kenny Baker, even though he has found himself stuck in a bit of a robot, you could say, and iconic character that just overwhelms us all, he did bring life to it through his own movement. And the knowledge that in 1978 or 77, when we first really found out that there was a little guy in there inside that robot, was amazing. He, as a person, brought a sense of fun and interest and intelligence when being interviewed, and so Star Wars has lost a massive but little guy today. It's funny, in the same year that Tony Dyson, who was part builder of R2-D2, passed away earlier this year in Malta, actually Gozo, part of Malta. And I know that country fairly well as I have a background in it. So parts of R2-D2 are passing on, but they will still remain with us. Kenny Baker, rest in peace. This is the Star Wars news. My name is David Zammit, aka Diz, and in the news this time around, Rogue One, the trailer, has finally been released. That's right, Rogue One, the trailer, finally released, and it's now online. You can check that out anytime you want. It's been long overdue. We did have that first teaser trailer, about 4 or 5 months ago. I think that's roughly when it came out. But this one really has set it off. And to more news, Rebels Season 3 will be kicking off September 24. That's right, September 24, Rebels Season 3, which will be interesting because the story is about before Rogue One. So check that one out to get some juicy bits of information, or you just want to be a Star Wars fan getting more information about nothing or something, or I just love it all, good or bad. And to more news, a 3D version of The Force Awakens is coming out with extra features, including J.J. Abrams with the director's commentary. That would be fantastic. Some more behind the scenes stuff. It being 3D, I'm not so overly wrapped about the 3D, but I'll watch it. I've got a 3D TV surround, so that should be okay. And that is the news for this time around. Okay, this is the views segment of The Force Awakens, and my view, which is not a prediction, it's just what I'd like to see happen in the Star Wars telling story aspect. And that could mean the episodes, that could mean the Star Wars story films, that could be the animation, it could be anything, even future projects that are unnamed yet. But what I'd like to see happen is a Knights of Ren movie, and it would be a Star Wars story episode, and it would be the third one in the series. So far we've got Rogue One, the second one will be a Han Solo film which has been unnamed as yet, and the third one I think Knights of Ren. The reason why I like to see that because I like the darkness of it. It has a number of characters there that could be expanded on, and it really does create a big universal sort of feel to it rather than one character. It also has the hardcore Star Wars fans really respond to this film, because at that stage the whole 7, 8 and 9 would have finished. The two Star Wars story films would have been well done, and so this will be the last bit of anything movie-wise for Star Wars for, I'd say, a good 5 years. And to keep the fans happy, I think a Knights of Ren story would be great. I think it would be much better than a Obi-Wan Kenobi one, and it would be much better than a Boba Fett film as well. I think the Knights of Ren is just fresh, it's dark, and it's something the fans would love to see. Anyway, that's my viewpoint this time around. That is a slow epic shot, just for you to sort of give you an understanding of the impact of the Rogue One Trailer 2 reaction on my behalf. It was epic, and it wasn't slow, but it was great. It was the perfect trailer. 10 out of 10. Let me start during and end with that. 10 out of 10. It was unbelievable. The best part of this trailer was the Darth Vader part being small. As I've said, that if we give too much Vader straight away, it's going to confuse lots of people. I thought he was dead. What is this, episode 8? Things like this. You need to put it in slowly, and the fact that you didn't even see his face sets it up for the next trailer, or even the movie itself. That would be great. I think Vader needs to have a stronger presence just before you go into the movie, like in that month at least. But that was a great end. Now it even started off with a piano of the technically Vader theme, Darth Vader's theme. It's not really Darth Vader's theme known as, it's actually the Imperial March. But it started off with that, so it sort of subtly introduced you to it's coming. The trailer itself from the start and during and the end was like a story. It was great, and it didn't give much away, which is great. The highlights of this trailer was the epic shots. Like, there was some great epic sort of like sweeping shots with the starships of all sorts. I thought Forrest Whitaker is an absolute best part of this film almost. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be so many best parts, but he's just the detail. He's got such a grain when it comes to acting. He's a great choice. The one that plays Jyn Erso, I can't remember her name right now. She's a really good lead that I can tell so far. I mean, I've not seen the film, but it's she looks really well. Even Ben Mendelsohn, the Australian representative in the film, he's actually looking the part. Really knowing where he's coming from Australia, he started off with sort of art house type Australian films, and I thought, is this guy pushing himself so he can make it big one day, but you never saw him make it in Hollywood until recently, and sort of deservingly so. But I also thought he may have been not wanting the Hollywood sort of thing. But in the recent years he's really been pursuing that, and it does really, suit this role, at least from a preview point of view. But this trailer, the music was phenomenal. I mean, anything John Williams does is great. I think this is John Williams. He's doing this particular Star Wars story. It wasn't really distinctive Star Wars music, but it was very epic orchestral music, and from the start to the end, it really raised the roof, and I liked that. There was no theme songs in it that was too, distinct. It was just a very lush, epic sound, which is obviously what Star Wars is. And so again, this trailer for me, the Rogue One trailer, I'm wishing that there's not going to be too many TV spots and things like that The Force Awakens did, which I think ruined a part of the build-up. I don't think it was ruined completely, but it ruined a part of the build-up. But I'm wishing that this is going to be the biggest thing we see, and maybe just a little bit of Darth Vader going into it. But 10 out of 10 for the Rogue One trailer 2. Okay, this is the interview segment part of The Force Always. The interview this time around was something a little bit interesting. About a week ago, I had a bit of a gathering at my place with a bunch of girls. They're friends, that's it, just friends. And it was a bit of, some mojitos. We had, some pizzas, homemade pizzas, delicious. It was great night. And I thought, wait a minute, this is an opportunity to do something unique to a bunch of girls that have never seen Star Wars. So I said, okay. I put on the original Star Wars New Hope Episode 4 and sort of did a bit of an experiment to see what they thought. They weren't really captivated by the whole thing, but it was sort of a bit of fun to see a bunch of girls watching Star Wars at my place, while having some pizzas and some mojitos. And so this is how the night unraveled. Here's a little bit of it now. Okay, this is Girls Watching Star Wars. That's right, The Force Always. Woo!
Well, on Saturday night, we had mojitos, we had some pizza, and I got some girls, that's right, girls, to watch Star Wars at my place. And these are some of the girls. This is Tash, how you doing?
Hello.
And this is Jim, how you doing?
What's up, yo?
Now, after we had some mojitos and pizza,
Yes.
and we're watching Star Wars, what was your impression, Tash?
I thought it was a little bizarre.
And why was it bizarre?
Well, the characters and how they looked. Like there was a tin guy and a dinosaur and a hairy guy.
Was the story captivating you at all?
I didn't watch a whole lot of it, but a little bit.
Has it intrigued you to watch Star Wars, any of them?
Maybe the later ones.
When you
It
say-
seemed the first one we watched was very old.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, that was the original one. That was A New Hope,
Yeah.
episode 4. Now, Jem,
Yes,
what
sir.
do you think of Star Wars for the first time?
I don't know. I'm just not really into it. I
What?
can't understand the storyline, like what's going on. stuff like that.
What makes you not interested? Is it the look of the film, being
I
in
guess
space?
so, yeah.
Yeah. And so, what type of film do you like? Are you into rom-coms? Are you into action?
I'm more into an anime.
Anime.
Told ya.
Right. And so, any other impressions you have of Star Wars on Saturday night?
Right.
No? What about you, Tash?
I think special effects was a bit weird.
Right. And what do you
Yeah.
mean by weird?
I guess it's come a long way since then, but I still think the characters are pretty weird. Like, yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's very weird.
Right.
I get that they're coming from outer space.
Yes. So you both, to this day, have never seen Star Wars in its entirety?
No,
Never.
no,
Right.
no, I know.
So that's why I thought it was a little bit of fun on Saturday night where we
Yeah.
had some mojitos, we had some pizza, and we had Star Wars.
Yeah.
And that was a bit of fun. So, but anyway, thank you very much, Em, and thank you very much, Tash.
Thanks,
and
Dave.
may the Force be with you.
Okay, thanks for watching The Force Always. My name is David Zammit, aka Diz. And so like, share, repeat the video if you like. And until next time, keep rocking.
The Force will be with you, always.